I mean, you might be the starer.
I could be the creepy starer. One that felt like it was trying to electrocute my spleen. We're in like the Disneyland of spas. Today let's strip down to our bits and pieces in Japan. Shwoo shwoo. In case you didn't know, onsens are public baths and are a huge part of Japanese culture and something I did want to try out when I was there. There's just one little thing, they're mostly nude when you go in, everybody's naked. Naked all the time. Now straight up, I am a very modest person. To me, being naked is a private, personal thing. You know, something that's shared with one's partner. Or failing that, just kept entirely to oneself in a dimly lit bathroom with a locked door and a Spotify playlist called Do Not Disturb, set to acoustic style. But here on the channel, I like to get out of my comfort zone. One time, I visited a nudist beach in Florida. It's so normal. That's the strangest part for everybody here. It's just, I haven't seen anybody creepy. No, your bits and bobs flopping around the place. You could get used to this. In Japan, they're out here bathing nude together like it's brunch. Now, I know that to some people, especially in parts of mainland Europe, being naked is just not that deep. I respect that. I, however, come from a country where we spend 90% of our time in many, many layers of clothes covered up like a potato.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Skin exposure is just not the norm for me in my Irish freckly arse. So when I agreed to go to the traditional Japanese onsen, being naked was just, let's say, not my natural rhythm. And I thought I'd take you guys along as much as I possibly can. Obviously, you're not going to see my bum. Can you say bum on YouTube? Let's get out of our natural comfort zone, but into our natural state. So my friend Elaine, who I travelled with, had been to Japan many times before and visited many onsens before, so I asked her a couple of questions. I've put on my onesie and I'm naked under it.
Yeah, well, Japanese onsens. Okay, I've been to quite a few. It's a little bit like there's things you need to know.
Okay.
Right? Everyone's very comfortable and nobody's looking at anyone.
And they're male and female?
No. There's a women's section and there's a men's section. Like completely different, almost like buildings. Like
that's what I meant.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I visited 3 onsens when I was there. One was a very, very private onsen, which was wonderful. And I actually got to video inside a little bit for you because there was nobody else there. So there's literally nobody else in here right now. So I feel like it's okay to show you. And these are all hot. And the water is sulfuric water. So it's quite smelly in here in a nice way. The second onsen was like Disneyland. And the third onsen was just one we stopped at before the airport. As ever, I love to observe what is weird and wonderful in other cultures, though here are a couple of things that I noticed. Remember, weird is good and strange is bad. Stay weird, not strange. First off, the towels are microscopic. There is no shortage of the amount of towels that they will give you, and there are usually 2 different sizes. But for me, I felt like they were like a face towel and a hand towel, whereas they were described as a hand towel and a bath towel. But you gotta remember, Japanese people generally are tiny people. The napkin-sized bath towel just about covered my dignity. Despite being a regular-sized Western person, I did feel like a giant giraffe wandering around with my barely covering myself bath towel. But actually that's something you need to bear in mind as well, because covering up too much will make you look like the weird person. Like intuitively, when I would get out of one of the baths, there are like loads of different baths around. You would go to put your towel on, but nobody else was. They were all just wandering around stark bollock naked, and that is the norm there. So the more you cover up, the odder you will seem.
Nobody's looking at anyone.
I think I might find it hard not to look.
You're so busy washing yourself and concentrating on
I just go like la 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 boobs, la 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 bum, la la la.
No.
China.
No. Don't.
Okay, now.
I mean, you might be the starer.
I could be the creepy starer. It's gonna be me. I like being naked. Actually, I hate it when mommy puts clothes on me. You hate it? Yeah, go check us out over on patreon.com/Diane Jennings. Next up, you need to scrub it like your life depended on it. Elaine did prepare me for this.
And you shower. Now, the showering system is completely different. I've never seen anything like it before. You have to sit down. They tell you, sit down to shower, sit down to shower. I'm like, okay.
Sit down to shower,
yeah, on a little stool. You sit on a little plastic stool And there's, on top of the stool, there's like a basin. And then people kind of fill the basin with water and then put the basin aside. And
Hang on, do you sit on the stool naked?
Yes.
But
So
the
usually
stool has been somebody else's bum.
Well, you see, everyone, like, it's so hot in there, it's steamy, and you shower it down before you use it and after you use it. So it's just like water's flowing all the time. So you hose down your area. It's all very clean. Like, there's people around cleaning all the time. Like, it's Japanese. Everything's spotlessly clean. And there's like, you've got your soap and your shampoo and your conditioner, and people spend like quite a while there, like just scrubbing. Like, you kind of scrub yourself.
Grand. Like, I go to gyms, and in the women's locker room, people just get in the shower. You might be naked for like a minute, and then you get in the shower and you've your little curtain and everything.
No, there's no curtains.
Okay.
No, it's just open.
I think it's quite good before you even go near the shared water. You need to get very clean. And this is a thing in like Western swimming pools, you're supposed to rinse off, but a lot of people don't, and that's gross. In Japan, we're talking CSI forensic scrubbing. People be scrubbing. It's good, like it is good, because you're not sharing all the dead skin cells really. It makes the water less soup-like. Obviously, it didn't suit my fake tanness, but actually I think that was the beginning of my journey to less fake tan. Hooray. Oh, I love fake tan. The third thing I did not think about until I was in there is that there are children. Now, to be very clear, in Japan, culturally, it is very normal for children to go to the onsen. But I am the person coming in from the outside to which this is not the norm. I am not culturally Japanese. I know, it's shocking. Now, Elaine mentioned earlier, people don't stare at each other. It's not the norm. However, kids do stare. Kids do stare. And me, being extremely freckly and pasty and not typical of Japanese culture, I found myself on the receiving end of a lot of stares from children, and hence left the situation. Next, there is a big difference between small onsens, private little ones in small hotels, and like the Disneyland onsen that we visited. We're also weird today because we had to take off our shoes and they didn't give us any flip-flops, which everywhere else has given us. Slippers, flip-flops. This place is very different. We're in like the Disneyland of spas. In the big ones, there is no joke about a bajillion different types of bath. You'll get hot, cold, carbonated, foot only, Grecian. One that felt like it was trying to electrocute my spleen. It was like spa roulette, basically. But fun, definitely fun. The next thing that's like very, to sum up, there is no personal space, and yet there is an abundance of personal space. Japan is fascinating. It is so crowded, especially for somebody from Ireland. It's huge. There are so many people. And I found you could be like an inch away from somebody in one of the communal baths and yet feel completely fine with it. Japanese people are never intrusive in their presence. Everybody is so respectful. Everyone just sort of coexisted silently, and you were like staring into space or having chats with people. I didn't chat with many strangers in Japan, mostly just my friend. And actually it was totally fine. We're both sitting there in our Knickerbocker glories having a chat. It became very normal, just like she said it would. And obviously you don't have your phone, because that would be a massive invasion of privacy in a place with other strangers who are nude. So you're kind of free to like talk and stare at space, not at each other. But it was just nice. Everybody just being in each other's company but leaving each other alone. And despite everything, it's kind of lovely. I was happy to have this new cultural experience, so much so that I did do it 3 times. I was deeply uncomfortable and damp and slightly dizzy from all of the steam, but I had a really nice time. It was kind of magical. There's just something pure about everybody just existing in their own skin. No phones, no self-consciousness. I was a little self-conscious, okay? I was a little. But it's just you, your tiny towel, and a lot of steam. And of course, you get to have snacks in Japan before and after, which is always a wonderful thing. Oh my god, it's so puffy. They're so puffy compared to American pancakes. So puffy. Too much puff. Oh my god. But how do they get them so puffy? Let me know below in comments what weird cultural experiences you've had in other countries. I'm very excited to hear it and see if it's something I would want to do. Shout out today to a couple of patrons. Today I get to thank my wonderful squad, who are Bill Staley, Captain Dan Doherty, Christopher Martinez, David Wilford, E. Burm, Eric L, S. Jalek Art, Freddie, J. Michael Casano, Jack Heflin, Joseph Mixon, Larry Shepard, Mark D, Michael E. Doherty, Michael McEwen, Robert Harold, Sam Fuller, Samira Schmidt, Stories Telling Stories, Tim Donnelly, Tim Gibson, and Travis Thomas. I look forward to seeing lots of you and your pets later in the month in our Zoom hangout. Thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. See you on the other side. Bye.